There are times in life when words aren't needed. This is a story of those moments. Silent glances, hidden smiles, and a first crush that grows in the quietest of ways. It all began in a warm, sunny classroom. She was a dreamer, always lost in her thoughts. One day, her gaze wandered across the room to a boy she hadn't noticed before. He was new and seemed to prefer the company of his books. She found herself drawn to him, her cheeks flushing with a soft warmth she didn't quite understand yet. Later that day, in the crowded hallway, they crossed paths. She was just one face in a sea of students. But as if by fate, their eyes met. She felt her heart skip, her face heating up as he looked at her with a soft, curious gaze. It was a second, gone as quickly as it came, but enough to leave her smiling, wondering if he noticed her too. After school, she often visited the park to sketch. And one day, she saw him there, sitting alone under a tree, deeply absorbed in his book. She sat down nearby, sketching him from a distance, her eyes flicking up every so often. Just seeing him there felt comforting, like they shared a quiet, secret connection. Their worlds truly crossed in the library. Paired up for a project, they spent hours together, sitting side by side at a table covered in books. He leaned in close, explaining something, and she found herself listening, her face flushed with an unspoken excitement. It wasn't just the assignment that made her heart race. It was the way he made her feel seen, understood. They ended up sitting together outside during lunch, laughing about something silly. She hadn't expected him to have such a soft smile, nor for it to make her feel so at ease. Her laughter felt lighter with him, her heart feeling warmer as he watched her with a shy smile of his own. One weekend, as she walked to her favorite spot in the park, she saw him sitting there, sketching, just like her. She hesitated, but then walked over. He looked up and gave her that same shy smile, inviting her to sit. They sketched together, side by side, and for the first time, she felt the soft, undeniable spark of a crush. Days passed, and they'd meet often to sketch together. Sitting next to him on the park bench, he glanced over at her drawing and told her it was beautiful. Her heart raced, and she looked down, blushing. A soft, shy smile formed on her lips as she realized how deeply she cared for these little moments with him. At the end of one school day, they lingered by the gate, saying goodbye. He looked at her with that gentle smile, and her heart felt full. The cherry blossoms drifted around them in the breeze, and she held on to the feeling of him standing there, wondering if he felt that unspoken connection too. Alone in her room, she sat with her sketchbook, flipping through her drawings. The pages were filled with moments of him, moments she'd sketched without even realizing it. She felt her cheeks warm as she smiled at each page, wondering if this was what it felt like to fall for someone quietly, tenderly. On a tree-lined path, they walked in opposite directions, but both turned back for a final look. Their eyes met, each holding on to the moment with a soft smile. It was their silent way of saying that these memories, this connection, would stay with them. And maybe that's the magic of a first crush. It's not about grand confessions, but about the quiet, meaningful glances, the silent promises that make us feel seen. Sometimes a glance, a shared laugh, or a warm goodbye is all we need to remember that someone felt the same way, if only for a moment. And so, she held on to that feeling, knowing that her first crush wasn't just a moment, but a beautiful, quiet beginning,